Our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
For the first time, Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the country after her boss, President Joe Biden, dropped out of the race on Sunday. Thanks for watching. I'm Brianna Fernandez. Harris did not address her candidacy because this was an official White House event. President Biden did endorse her yesterday after announcing he's leaving the race. The vice president spent time touting President Biden's accomplishments and talking about his legacy.
In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office.
Vice President Harris spoke during the event celebrating NCAA athletes who won championships in the last year. One of those athletes standing behind her was Magnus Bowie, who's on the CU's ski team. Now, Harris is not for sure the nominee yet, but she is the favorite. Today, she got another big endorsement for former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. If Harris is the nominee, she'll have to pick a running mate. She already has a long list. Colorado's Democratic Governor Jared Polis was asked whether he'd consider joining the ticket during an interview with CNN this morning.
If she asked you to be her running mate, would you accept?
Well, Dana, we're not even there, Dana. I appreciate the question. I love the job I'm doing. You know, I love Colorado. It's great. Obviously, if somebody asks, I take a serious look at it. But my phone hasn't rung yet. Look, if they do the polling and it turns out that they need a 49-year-old balding gay Jew from Boulder, Colorado, they got my number.
Now, we're also hearing from Colorado's delegates about Biden's decision. Now, it took about 8 hours for all of Colorado's Democratic congressional delegation to endorse Harris. One of those delegates is Leslie Herod. She says she's not surprised by Biden's decision and is already looking ahead to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next month.
We know that there is a long road ahead of us, but we do have the time to not only make sure that the mechanisms are in place for us to nominate our next president, but to also get the message out there of who we are as a party, as a country, and as a ticket.
Delegates also point out Harris is the only potential candidate who can use money donated to the Biden-Harris campaign. That's about $96 million. Nearly $50 million of that has come since Biden announced he was stepping aside. That's just a small donation. That doesn't include any big donors. Asian American voters are emerging as coveted voting bloc for this election. Kamala Harris supporters say her being half black and half Indian will help appeal to a lot of people. A South Asian community leader here in Colorado says many South Asian voters are looking for policies that could impact small businesses.
So many members of our community are small businesses, and in that case, you have to have policies which are friendly. Here in Colorado, the Sikh community employs approximately 10,000 of our fellow Coloradans. So it's a pretty significant number. That's what we have estimated.
He also mentioned affordability and inflation as top issues. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of black women are also showing their support for Harris. 40,000 people joined a Zoom call with the organization Win with Black Women after Biden dropped out. They talked about how to support and campaign for Harris. During that call, they raised more than $1 million. Now, even though Harris is not the nominee yet, there is still a lot of speculation about who could be her possible running mate. That list includes California's Governor Gavin Newsom, Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro, Michigan's Gretchen Whitmer, and Kentucky's Andy Bashar, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg as well. So the big question today is what happens next? The Democratic Convention Rules Committee is set to meet on Wednesday to figure out the nomination process and then go on from there. The DNC is less than a month away on August 19th. Of course, in the coming days, we'll keep you updated every step of the way on air on our 9 News app, as well as our streaming on 9 News Plus. This morning, lawmakers grilled the Secret Service director following the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Director Kimberly Cheadle says she takes responsibility for what happened and faced growing calls from Republicans to resign.
The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency.
The Secret Service has thousands of employees and a significant budget, but it has now become the face of incompetence. It is my firm belief, Director Cheadle, that you should resign.
Cheeto acknowledged her agency was told about the suspicious person 2 to 5 times before the attack on Trump. Lawmakers asked why Trump took the stage after local police identified the gunman as suspicious. She said Secret Service would have paused the rally if agents had been told there was an actual threat. Lawmakers asked why there were no agents on the roof where the shooter fired. She said that they're still investigating. Now, Cheeto promised to make sure this would never happen again, but did not indicate that she plans to step down. Now, it is a hazy, cloudy day so far in Denver. The good news is that smoke from the Pacific Northwest should be clearing out soon. So let's bring in meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Chris, what can we expect today? I know all morning you were saying dry and cool. Is that the same story for later this afternoon?
Yeah, we will have some storms around, but as you mentioned, Brianna, the story is that smoke. It is pretty rough out there. There's no doubt about that. And unfortunately, that smoke is going to stick around probably for the rest of the day today. It will clear out later this week, but in the meantime, it does look like we're going to be holding on to the smoke for a while. You can see it there from the Alpine Visitor Center. This is about 11,000 feet up. So this is one of those places a little higher in elevation that will hold on to that smoke the longest. And here in Denver, some of that smoke settling down. Again, it is notable. It is hazy. It is a pretty rough go out there. And some of that smoke getting down towards the surface, which unfortunately means we're probably going to be seeing those smoke impacts and actually affecting our air pollution a bit more as the day wears on. For today, other than the smoke, our story will be cool temperatures, highs in the low to mid 80s for us across the Denver area. Continues to be kind of hazy, but with some of that sunshine that gets through right now, it is 76 degrees for us in Denver, 83 in Greeley, and 60s for us into the high country. And right now, that live radar, mostly on the quiet side, but we've had some showers out into parts of Yuma County earlier on today. And as we get through the rest of the day today, we will see some more showers and storms develop, especially for us here in the high country along and south of I-70. And then those showers and storms should dissipate. A chance for 1 or 2 storms for us around the metro area. It'll be the southwest side, so kind of Red Rocks area, down through Roxborough Park. That's where you have the best chance at seeing some of those showers or storms later on today. Otherwise here, folks, going to be tracking that smoke. I'm going to get into details about where that smoke is coming from, when it will come to a close, and also warming temperatures as the week wears on. Lots to get into coming up in a few minutes in my full forecast.
Chris, thank you so much. Today, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston delivered his first State of the City address since being elected. He gave his speech from the Paramount Theater downtown, wrapping up the past year. He talked about safety and migrants coming here to Denver. Mayor Johnston also focused on the response to street homelessness and his work to create more affordable housing. He says the city created 1,200 units of transitional housing through his initiatives and helped move 1,600 people off the streets into transitional housing.
You told me how hard it was to hold the job. And today, you can walk out this theater with your daughter, and I can walk out with mine. And you can walk down the mall to Union Station, or over to Coors Field, or through all the businesses in 5 Points. You can walk past that post office or to the Denver Arts Complex or the Convention Center or the Civic Center Park. And when you make that walk today, you will not see a single tent or a single encampment in all of downtown Denver.
The mayor also talked about plans he plans for coming year. And we'll have more on that and the mayor's State of the City address coming up tonight at 4 as well as 5. Now, a police officer and suspect are recovering after a shootout that happened in Fort Collins. It all started when Fort Collins police responded to a crash just before 1 yesterday afternoon. When officers got there, they say the man driving started shooting, leading to a short chase. That's when police say he and officers started shooting at each other. The suspect ran toward Grandview Cemetery a few blocks away, and he and the officers kept shooting. One neighbor tells us she ran over after hearing about the crash. That's when she watched the rest unfold.
Here he is with this long gun, and I was shocked at how long it was. I ran back over here to my daughter's house, and then we were in the kitchen and we heard, all the gunshots.
The officer who was shot is expected to recover. The man who was also shot was arrested and then taken to the hospital. We asked the sheriff's office how they're both doing, but haven't heard back yet.